everybody, this is Holly Priestley of Silly Little Lady and Honeycomb Coaching. This is the third video in my ultimate guide to starting, growing, and maintaining your knitting related business. Today I'm wearing my own design called the Sunny Gray Skies shawl, and today we're going to talk about step 2 in growing your business. In the last video I talked about steps 0 and 1, step 0 being, do you really want to do this? It's a lot of work. Step 1 being setting up all of your social channels, picking out which ones are the best ones for you, etc. So step 2 is, where are you going to sell your products or your services? If you're selling a digital product like a pattern, there are a few websites where you can upload them so that your customers can directly download them from the website and you don't have to do any extra work. When I first started selling my designs on Etsy about 10 years ago, it was a PDF pattern, but Etsy didn't have the auto download function yet, so people would buy the pattern and then I'd have to email them the pattern later. And that was fine, it was easy enough to do, but once they added that auto download, it was just so much more streamlined, so much easier, and if I was out of town on a backpacking trip or somewhere without service, my clients were not waiting days and days and days for their pattern. So these auto download sites are amazing. Some of the main ones I'm sure are obvious to you, Ravelry being one of the biggest. I consistently have gotten the most sales there. Their fee structure is very reasonable and it's so simple. There's so many knitters and crocheters there. They're looking on that website for designs. They can search for specific patterns. They can search for yarn type or weight or yardage or whatever. I mean, the search functionality on Ravelry is amazing and everybody's there. Highly recommend you get your patterns up there if that's what you're selling. Etsy is also a great one. Love Knitting, Love Crochet is excellent. They suck your patterns directly from Ravelry, so you don't necessarily have to re-upload them to another site, which is very simple. If you do decide to go that route, double check your pattern once they are synced to Love Knitting or Love Crochet, because sometimes the transition process gets things a little bit wonky. You just have to make sure that all the information is correct there as well. And then the pricing gets a little bit odd sometimes because on Ravelry you can set it up for USD or any other currency, and you can on Love Knitting or Love Crochet as well, but they're based in the UK. So I have found that sometimes the pricing gets a little wonky, but it's not a very big deal. You can also sell them on Craftsy, which I don't believe has a fee structure. I think they just sell your patterns for free, or at least they used to. You can set up your own website for people to direct download from as well. That's one of the options where you're going to have to put a little bit more elbow grease into getting that set up. If you are selling a product, a physical product like yarn or stitch markers or notions or needles or your knitted wares to people who maybe don't knit, there are a couple of websites that overlap as well that you could do that on. The biggest one being Etsy. You can also set up your own website. You can use eBay. I've seen people have success selling locally with Facebook or Nextdoor or something to that effect. Also, you may want to look into brick and mortar stores near you, whether that be a yarn store if you're selling yarn or yarn specific goods, or gift store, consignment store if you're selling yarn or yarn related goods, but also the finished products as well. Pricing is a tricky thing to navigate. There are a ton of formulas online. If you just Google search, like, how do I price my pattern? How do I price my yarn? How do I price my knit hat? How do I price my stitch markers? And that is incredibly individual to how much your materials cost, how much time you spend on it, how much you plan on selling, who your audience is, and all of that. So I can't necessarily give you A plus B equals C formula for pricing your own goods. But if you're selling something that other people are also selling, go on those sites where you're planning on selling and see what your competitors are pricing their goods for. Usually there's a huge range from free to way not free. Speaking of free products, I do recommend, if you're brand new, just getting started, even if you're not, if you're trying to grow or maintain your business, occasionally offer some of your patterns or goods for free. Patterns especially. We've seen on Ravelry that if you offer something for free for a limited period of time, whether that be like a day, a couple of days, a week, if you ask people to favorite it when they download it, it will climb the charts, and so more people are likely to see it. It might make it to that very coveted, top designs box there on the left side of Ravelry. I don't recommend offering every single one of your patterns for free all the time. You're not going to make any money that way, and if that's your goal, is to grow a business, you need to make some money. But if you're just getting started, you kind of want to show that you know what you're doing or get feedback from your clients about your pattern writing process or whatever it is. Free products are definitely a great way to do that. So overall, the locations where you can sell your services or patterns or products varies from location to location. What your local community can offer you will vary greatly. If you have any specific questions about your situation, your town, your business, your product, feel free to drop me a line and let's talk about that. If you're looking for more one-on-one coaching from me, click over to Honeycomb Coaching, check out my packages, send me a message. If you have any questions at all about this video or future videos, send me a message, leave me a comment, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them individually as well as in future videos. If you thought the content in this video was good and worth sharing, please do share it with all of your friends who are starting, growing, or maintaining knitting-related businesses. And again, this is Holly Priestley of Silly Little Lady and Honeycomb Coaching. I hope you're having an excellent day and stay tuned for the next video.